Go.
So being a Filipino American, stereotypes have been created about us in our society. They believe that these stereotypes are the essence of who we are as Filipinos, and that our culture is defined by these views presented by the media. So I'll be presenting you with a few stereotypes today, and you can just answer if you've seen it, any personal experiences with them, and how did they come to be. So the first stereotype, Filipinos point with their lips.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. You know, like when like a Filipino mom's like, "Oh, go get it over there," and you're like, "Where is it?" And it's like, "Look with your eyes, not your lips," and you know. And I don't know where it came from. I really don't.
I've seen that many times before. My parents, multiple teachers in Vallejo High School, and yeah, I'm not sure where that came from though.
Okay.
I'm laughing because that's very common in my family. I don't know how it came about. It's just something that I grew up with. My mom, she'd be like, "Hey, can you give me that? Where? Over there." Or just my grandparents, just a bunch of people in my family.
Oh, yep. That's so true. My mom be like, you.
There, over there, there. That's my mom. Like, she's gonna be like, dun.
You know.
And she's pointing out using her mouth, and I'm like, where? Dun.
Do you guys know why?
I don't know, but I think it's convenient for them.
It's easier than pointing us.
Yeah, and then
they don't have to move.
That's
They
true.
just do this.
True.
especially when they're doing something and then they're using their
Oh yeah,
hands.
you know how Filipinos are
Dun,
hardworking?
dun.
Like they be doing things with their hands, so
Yeah.
they don't have.
Especially moms.
They don't have 3 hands. They can use their lips to point. Like
I don't know. It's just our duty, so they're using their mouth.
next question.
Alright. Next stereotype. Filipinos run on Filipino time.
Oh yeah, we late. We always late, for some reason. We just, they say that's why they start the party at 1:00, so everyone show up 5:00.
I think that's not just a Filipino thing. I've seen that in, I guess, other minorities, or it could be like in other like cultures as well. But that's one of like another stereotype I've heard a lot.
Have you experienced any of that? Like running on that late?
I've witnessed it, but I haven't done it. I try not to, cause there's.
Alright, so according to a few research, that Filipinos are late because they believe that the most important person is the last to arrive. Can you see that?
That's arrogant, but yeah.
I'm laughing because this is also true. Sometimes when we go to a family party, sometimes we arrive maybe an hour and a half late. But it's not because of we choose to disregard their time or their time with us. It's more or less because they live far away.
Alright, so from research it finds that some Filipinos believe that being the latest one means they're the most important. Can you see that in the culture, like that arrogance to want to be late just to be the most important?
I can't. It's because it's more. Well, I'm a different person compared to other people. It's like, for me, I would rather be the first one on time because it shows my value for their time, not to waste their time and effort, to become the last person to get there.
Oh yeah, they're always late.
I hate that. A classmate back in Philippines, so we're gonna have like a meeting, and we're gonna say it's supposed to be 1:00, but they're gonna be there at 1:30. That's
2,
the earliest one.
Or 2.
That's the earliest one, and then
Dude,
it's gonna be
Filipino time
2.
is so bad because it's so.
So
annoying.
that's why whenever we have a meetup, I'm just gonna ask them if they're already there,
Then that's when I leave the house when they're already there because they're always late.
they're always late.
Okay. Do you guys know why they run late?
Because they're arte. We do makeup.
I think it's just part of the culture. Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know, cause like in here when they say sharp time,
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be sharp time. Cause like, I think Filipino don't value the
Exact time.
more.
Like they don't care. They just come in whenever they want. Like they act like they're the boss.
Oh, there's a saying about that. It's better late than never.
Oh. Filipino. That's a big thing in the
That's
Filipino
what I
culture.
think,
Like,
right?
So
it's
also,
better late
another
than
one
never.
that I found is that Filipinos think that the latest one is the most important one.
The latest?
The latest person to come is the most important.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, save the best for last, kind of.
I feel like that too. Because my friends do that.
I do that most of the times. I try to be late, so all the attention's on me.
And then they're gonna
Booyah.
call you pa bebe.
Oh, gampa, baby.
Alright. Filipinos always try to feed you.
What? What kind of stereotype? I've never heard of that.
Like when you go to a party and stuff, like they immediately like say, "Here, come eat, come eat."
Oh yeah, Filipinos always want you to eat food at a party or something.
Why do you think so?
Why? Because they made hella food, and you know if you're not gonna eat their food, that's hecka messed up. They gotta have hecka leftovers. They don't want to eat leftovers for a week. That's a waste of money too. So you just gotta eat it.
Like when you go to like their house or
Remember
like,
Alan's
yeah.
Alan's party?
Yeah. I also think that's not just a Filipino thing. Personally, well, I don't know like what research shows that, but I think that's like a stereotype as well, not just for Filipinos but for other minorities.
All right.
Oh, this is very true. It's more or less feeling like you decided to come to our house. You decided to come spend time with us. The least we could do is feed you. You don't have to pay anything. We'll buy everything, or if we have to cook for you, we will cook for you. You know, it shows that you're valued amongst us, that we care about you, and that we don't want you to go home hungry.
That's true.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, when
I do
it's
that to my friends.
mom, when your mom grew up with traditional kind of
Mm.
family.
If you grew up to the Philippines, it's like
Everyone
it's
wanna
like
feed
how
you.
mothers show that they love you or like they care about you
But
Even my
by
friends,
feeding you.
even my friends, when they
'Cause
come over, they're gonna have like a snack.
Be like,
There's-
I don't even ask. I just put it in their mouth.
Mhm.
I do that. I don't know why. Like I don't even ask. Do you want some? I just feed them, or like I just do this, and they
When it comes to food, you can't refuse.
that's true. Next stereotype. Open or close the lights.
I don't know why they say it. It's like Filipino elders and stuff. Maybe because you know they didn't learn proper English.
Alright, so this one I can explain to you. The reason that they say open or close is because in the Tagalog language, there's only one word for open and close. So when you open, it's bukas. Whatever you do, it's bukas. Open, turn on, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same for close, sarado. You just close, turn off. So all that same things. So, we given that language barrier, do you see why that they say things like these?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Alright.
I've done that myself many times as a kid. I think that's just illiteracy, like, cause I don't know in like the Tagalog language if there's like a difference between that. Maybe that's why, but I'm not sure exactly why we do that.
So actually, there's only one word for turn on and open in Tagalog, and for both close and turn off. So it's just one word that does all of that.
So that's why.
That's
huh?
why. So when
Okay.
you lose it in translation, it becomes just open or close.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Yes. Depending on the person and how long they've been in the U.S., because for my parents, they said open and close the lights is because the lack of knowledge of knowing how to properly say it. Not because they're saying, no, this is the correct way. It's like they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to say, no, you're turning on and off the lights. You're not closing them or opening them.
So in the Filipino language, there's only one word for both turn on and open. So do you see that like disconnect where it's like that lost in translation becomes just that one word becomes two words and they only use that one word?
Yeah, exactly. Like in Tagalog, it's bukas.
Yeah.
Open, close. And, you know, when you come here to the U.S., English, you know, there's threes, two. There are threes, twos. You know, they're to go, or me too, or the number two. So English is a very complex language in that sense.
Open the lights. How can you open the lights? But mostly, I don't know, because I've heard about it because my mom is like always telling me open the lights instead of turn on the lights. I mean, I said it too.
Open the lights.
Open
yeah.
the lights sometimes. Because sometimes you don't think, you just say, you know.
It's just my theory, but then I think It's because in Philippines they don't have proper grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's only
So,
one word that
yeah.
means open and turn
Put-
on.
yeah.
So same.
So it's same
interchangeable.
to them.
So when they translate, it's
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Open the
like,
lights.
yeah.
Because open means you open it. So they
Like
think
you
that
turn it
if-
on?
Yeah, because the word for open is the
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
for both.
Yeah.
Next stereotype is used to get people's attention.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I hear all the time. You know, you go see the titties. You're like, "Shh, everybody look. They all break their neck. They go,
Why do you think that? Why do you think that sound is what attracts Filipinos?
because it sound like snake. So everyone's scared of snake. They don't want to go like, "Shh, oh my god, it's a snake. Like, see?
Very interesting take on that.
Yeah, I've seen that multiple times before. Why is that though? I'm not sure.
You interviewing me now?
My bad. Yeah, I've seen, my mom does that a lot. Ginang, all the ginangs. Yeah.
Yes, because it's quiet. You don't want to. You don't want to yell, "Hey, you!" to get that one person attention. It's just, and most people look. It's not even necessarily towards Filipinos at that time, or at that point. It's just, "Hey, you," in a more discreet manner.
Okay.
There it's more like you can like.
And
people
I
will
think
look
'cause,
and they
like,
think that's
sometimes Filipino take seriously when you call them mana or something. So
like
it's
old
better
people,
to
like mano.
Mhm.
That's what it means.
And then some of the people.
But
you
old
know,
people find that disrespectful when you them because that's you not respecting them.
Okay. So, next stereotype. He and she are interchanged.
Yeah, because like in the Filipino language, I believe there's like only one pronoun
Yes.
or for like everyone. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So who mostly uses that? That interchangeable he or she that you've seen?
Like all the older Filipinos, not the ones that are born here.
Mm.
Mostly the ones that like came from the Philippines.
All right.
I see that a lot. And isn't that because of the Tagalog language as well?
Yes, so there's only
Yeah.
one. There's no gender specific
Yeah.
word that you would call someone by.
Yeah.
So have you yourself done that?
No. Not that I know of.
Yes. I don't know why, but I just know that I've grown up being called a he and a she. I am called a he. I've been grown up called a she by my aunt, and if other family members, I'm like, I'm a guy, aunt. Sheesh. Yeah, can she pick him up? I'm like, I'm right here. Can he pick him up? I don't know why. It's just they just do it. I think it's just to mess with us at this point.
Well, actually, it's because in the Filipino language there is no word that's gender specific. There's no gender specific word. Everything is gender neutral. So then when they come here, of course, there's two, and it's kind of just
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to English being
Yeah.
a very complex language as is.
But like yeah, because in the Philippines, like I said, we don't have pronouns. Okay,
So
we don't use pronouns. We use sila, siya, ikaw. We don't say babae ka. Hoy
Yeah.
babae. We say
it's generalized.
yeah.
the last stereotype. All Filipinos are nurses.
Nah. All Filipinos are nurses and mailmen. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Take that. Nah. That's not real.
But why do you think that has come about?
Because like everyone thinks that Asians are nurses. I don't know. You know, Asians are like relatively like always associated with the medical field for some reason. So
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess yeah, but also like computer scientists, doctors, and other things as well. But nurses nurses primarily. I've seen that, but not sure why.
So some research says that nurses emerged during World War II, and that they helped out the wounded American soldiers.
Hmm.
And then after that, since to look for work, they went abroad, and then so that stigma has come up, around the world since they go travel abroad to work as nurses.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not well. Everyone's not a nurse. There's at least 2 nurses in the family, not 1 but 2.
Okay. So do you know why that the nurse occupation is so
like popular amongst Filipinos?
Yeah, I like to think it's because it relates back to our want to help and want to give back.
Our job. It's like there's always opportunities in that field.
It's always in demand because people will never stop getting sick.
True.
So
Yeah.
there's always an opportunity for nursing.
So now that you've heard these different stereotypes, how do you feel about them? Do you think they correctly define the Filipino culture, or they're just little things on the surface that there's some more deeper parts of our culture that aren't found in these stereotypes?
I mean, so some of the stereotypes, like, some of them, like, yeah, they could, like, define Filipino, but then others, like, have a deeper meaning to it. For example, like the he or she in the language, or, like, open or close the light.
I don't think they give like a negative light to the Filipino culture, because if you're gonna have any culture, there's gonna be some type of stereotype, and these specifically, I don't think they like reveal Filipinos as like inferior or like lesser or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it's brought out in negative manners because these are pretty, like, to me they're pretty funny because this is very true. Not for lack of trying, but because this is how Filipinos are. If they're what's the second part of the question?
Is there more to the culture than just these stereotypes?
Yeah, people look into these stereotypes. They think if they want to think about it more. Say nurses, you connect that to them wanting to feed people, or there's a bunch of things that you can connect back to the Filipinos that don't really get shown anymore.
I mean, the only thing that is negative there is, for my opinion, was the Filipino doesn't come on time, and then the
White people are
because like they're gonna get offended when you call them, because like you're supposed to call them Mr. or Sir.
Like, because in America they use pronouns, so I feel like they'd get offended
if you use
them.
it. Yeah, it feels like you're calling everybody's attention.
Yeah, like you're trying to get everyone's attention by like them, I guess. Submitting.
Alright, cut it real quick.
So with stereotypes comes negativity. Now, do you feel these stereotypes, like these that I presented to you, cause some in our community to want to assimilate into the white society in order to avoid these stereotypes and to avoid being part of this quote-unquote negative light that these stereotypes put them in?
I don't necessarily believe that, like, it forces, like, a Filipino person to be more, I guess you could say, like, white, I guess?
Stereotypes.
It's like specific stereotypes, I don't think so. It depends. It really depends on the person.
No, not really. I mean, most Filipinos that I know, they're very proud Filipinos. They wouldn't ever want to abandon their own culture, because Filipinos are like, you can spot a Filipino from a mile away. If you know what you're looking for, you can spot one out. And you never, you'll see some people who want to assimilate just because this is the new fashion trend, but just for fashion, not like wanting to be like that straight up white person.
Yeah, when you're used to it, maybe when you're like really born in here and then you're like assimilated to the culture in here, you're gonna be like what you call it, offended sometimes. But then when you grew up in the Philippines,
it's like
and then
nothing.
it's just nothing, because like you're used to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, have you yourself ever felt that you needed to assimilate to white society?
Oh, nah.
Any reasons as to why not?
Just, I like being me. I like me.
With the time thing, yeah, like that specifically, but I'm not sure because I don't really care about stereotypes because I'm me, I am who I am.
All right.
No, not really. Me, growing up, I was born here, but growing up, I had a Filipino accent because I would only speak Tagalog. Now the only thing that I would conform to that society is the way that they dress. Sometimes, the way they dress.
Right.
Other than that, I'm proud to be Filipino.
Sometimes.
I mean, either way, you're gonna have to adapt because you're in the.
Yeah,
you're
because
here.
you're here. But when you're in Philippines, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I feel like
you're gonna be, like
you don't want to be out of place, so you have to do what everybody else is doing, I guess.
Right. So my final question to you: how would you describe the Filipino culture in your own words?
Mabuhay. I feel like the Filipino culture is a big family, you know. Like we're all one within. Like we're all connected, you know, because we all endured stuff together as a culture, you know, as a country, you know, like the invasion of the Spaniards and others, you know, like American civilization forcing themselves onto us and stuff like that. We've endured a lot, and like also like World War II and stuff like that. You know, I feel like the Philippines as a whole is just respect, family, and fight. You know, like we're all together, we're all one.
Well, most Filipino parents, first of all, expect a lot from their kids and want to send them off to like university or whatever, and there's a lot of like weight on their shoulders. In terms of culture itself, there's a lot of emphasis on food because, you know, Filipinos cook a lot. But you can say that about any culture really, but that's what I like witnessed because being Filipino, since there's a lot of emphasis on that, and when you go to like a Filipino household, that's the first thing they could ask you. Well, most of the time personally, but I don't know like any evidence that shows that because it's anecdotal.
Loving, funny, and caring. Like, I never met a Filipino that does not like you right off the bat. You know, at least here in the U.S. The Philippines might be different because Philippines, but you know, here in the U.S., all the Filipinos that I've met, yeah, at first they might seem a little bit mean, but later on down the line, you get to know them, or you know, they warm up to you really quick. They show you love. They show you caring, and they're all funny.
They have really high expectations.
And then they only care about your progress.
Alright, so the one last thing before you go. How many bears were in the car with Goldilocks?
There was a car?
How many?
She wasn't in the car.
No, how many bears? Answer the question.
There was no.
Just answer the question.
Answer the question.
Goldilocks was not in the car. She went into the house.
Answer the question.
0.
4. The papa bear, the mama bear, the baby bear, and the dry bear.
The driver.
I remember that's a Filipino joke too. I'll remember. Wait. There was a dry bear. I don't
You got it. There's 4.
It was 4, yeah, because
How many?
4. The papa bear, the mama bear, the baby bear, and the dry bear. Alright.
What?
How many bears were in the car with Goldilocks?
Bears?
Yeah. Promise.
Oh, it's a joke. She's crazy.
So just give a number.
3. 1.
4. The papa bear, the mama bear, the baby bear, and the dry bear.
I guess.
Alright, thank you guys.
Thank you.